The Mystery of Ravenswood Manor. Chapter 1, The Invitation. Detective Evelyn Harper sat in her cozy office, sipping a cup of Earl Grey tea while leafing through the morning newspaper. Business had been slow lately, and she found herself longing for a new case to dive into. Just as she was about to close the paper, the door to her office creaked open, and a tall, distinguished man in his early 50s stepped in. He wore an impeccably tailored suit and carried an air of urgency. "Detective Harper?" he asked, his voice tinged with anxiety. "Yes, that's me," Evelyn replied, setting her teacup down. "How can I help you?" "I'm Jonathan Blake," the man introduced himself. "I need your help. It's about Ravenswood Manor." Evelyn's interest was piqued. Ravenswood Manor was an old estate on the outskirts of town, known for its grandeur and the mysterious events surrounding it. She gestured for Jonathan to take a seat and asked him to elaborate. "My uncle, Lord Reginald Ravenswood, was found dead last night," Jonathan began. "The police believe it was a heart attack, but I'm not so sure. There have been strange occurrences at the manor, and I fear foul play. I need you to investigate." Evelyn nodded, her detective instincts kicking in. "I'll take the case. Tell me everything you know about the events leading up to your uncle's death." Chapter 2, Arrival at the Manor. The next morning, Evelyn drove to Ravenswood Manor, her thoughts racing with possibilities. The manor loomed ahead, its Gothic architecture both intimidating and fascinating. She parked her car and walked up the stone steps to the massive front door. Jonathan greeted her at the entrance, accompanied by a stern-looking butler named Charles. Evelyn was led into the grand foyer, where portraits of the Ravenswood family hung on the walls, their eyes seeming to follow her every move. "Detective Harper, I've gathered the household staff and family members for you to interview," Jonathan said. "They're all in the drawing room." Evelyn thanked him and made her way to the drawing room. Inside, she found a diverse group of people: Jonathan's wife, Margaret, his younger sister, Isabella, the housekeeper, Mrs. Bates, the gardener, Thomas, and Lord Ravenswood's personal secretary, Miss Emily Carrington. Each one seemed nervous, and Evelyn could sense the tension in the room. "Thank you all for being here," Evelyn began. "I'm here to uncover the truth about Lord Ravenswood's death. I'll start by asking each of you a few questions." Chapter 3, The Interrogations. Evelyn started with Jonathan. "Mr. Blake, can you tell me about the night your uncle died?" Jonathan nodded. "We were having dinner in the main dining room. Uncle Reginald seemed fine at first, but then he suddenly clutched his chest and collapsed. The doctor said it was a heart attack, but I've noticed some strange things around the manor: doors creaking open by themselves, footsteps in empty hallways. It feels like something sinister is at play." Next, Evelyn spoke with Margaret. "Did you notice anything unusual that night?" Margaret hesitated. "Reginald had been acting strangely for weeks. He was jumpy, paranoid. He kept mentioning a dark secret that he couldn't escape. But he never told us what it was." Isabella, Jonathan's sister, added, "I heard him talking to someone in his study the night before he died. But when I checked, he was alone. He seemed frightened." Evelyn then turned to Mrs. Bates, the housekeeper. "Have you noticed anything odd lately?" Mrs. Bates wrung her hands nervously. "There's been a chill in the manor, a presence. I've worked here for years, and I've never felt anything like it. Lord Ravenswood started locking his bedroom door every night, something he never did before." Thomas, the gardener, had little to add, but he did mention seeing shadows moving in the garden at night. Miss Carrington, the secretary, was the last to be interviewed. She seemed calm, almost detached. "Lord Ravenswood confided in me," she said. "He was writing a memoir, and he was deeply troubled by something from his past. He believed someone was trying to stop him from finishing it." Chapter 4, The Discovery. Evelyn decided to inspect Lord Ravenswood's study. The room was filled with bookshelves, a large oak desk, and a large chair. On the desk lay a thick manuscript, unfinished. Evelyn carefully flipped through the pages, noting the detailed accounts of Lord Ravenswood's life. As she reached the last written page, a piece of paper slipped out. It was a letter, addressed to Jonathan. Evelyn read it aloud. "Jonathan, if you're reading this, then I am no longer alive. I fear the secrets of Ravenswood Manor are too dangerous to remain hidden. I have uncovered a truth that has haunted our family for generations. Trust no one. The key to everything lies within the portrait of Lady Eleanor in the East Wing. Destroy it, and the curse will be lifted." Evelyn's heart raced. She knew she had to find the portrait of Lady Eleanor. Chapter 5, The Secret Unveiled. Evelyn hurried to the East Wing, Jonathan and the others following closely behind. They found the portrait of Lady Eleanor, a striking woman with piercing eyes. Evelyn examined the painting and noticed a small, hidden latch behind the frame. She carefully pulled it, revealing a concealed compartment. Inside was an old diary, its pages yellowed with age. Evelyn opened it and began to read. The diary belonged to Lady Eleanor Ravenswood, and it detailed a dark family secret. Generations ago, the Ravenswoods had made a pact with a mysterious figure, trading their souls for wealth and power. Lady Eleanor had tried to break the pact, but she was murdered before she could succeed. As Evelyn finished reading, a cold wind swept through the room, and the portrait seemed to come to life. Lady Eleanor's eyes glowed with an eerie light, and a ghostly figure materialized before them. It was Lady Eleanor herself. "You must break the curse," she whispered. "Destroy the portrait and free my soul." Jonathan, with a determined look, took a nearby candelabrum and struck the portrait. The canvas tore, and a blinding light filled the room. When it faded, Lady Eleanor's spirit was gone, and the oppressive atmosphere in the manor lifted. Chapter 6, The Resolution. With the curse broken, the manor felt lighter, and the strange occurrences ceased. Evelyn gathered everyone in the drawing room once more. Lord Ravenswood's death was caused by the stress and fear of the curse, she explained. He was haunted by the pact his ancestors made, and the pressure ultimately led to his heart attack. The ghostly presence you all felt was Lady Eleanor, trying to guide someone to break the curse. Jonathan thanked Evelyn for her help, his relief evident. "You've saved our family, Detective Harper. We can finally move on from this dark chapter." Evelyn smiled, satisfied with the resolution. It was a team effort. Sometimes, the truth is hidden in the most unexpected places. As she left Ravenswood Manor, Evelyn felt a sense of fulfillment. She knew that, while the case was closed, the story of the manor and its secrets would live on in the memories of those who experienced it.